Welcome, everyone, to this week's AI News of the Week Deep Dive, brought to you by the AI Tips and Tools YouTube channel. Today, we are really peeling back the layers on something huge, OpenAI's GPT-5. It's finally here. Yeah, the anticipation has been pretty intense. So our mission today is simple. Cut through all the noise, the hype, and figure out what GPT-5 really means. We'll look at the official claims, sure, but also its new capabilities, how it's showing up in tech you use, an environmental footprint, which is crucial, and yeah, the early reactions. Some good, some not so good. Is it really going to redefine how we interact with tech like OpenAI says? Or is it maybe a bit more complicated than that? Let's find out. Okay, so the big day was August 7th, 2025. After 2 years, seems like forever, right? GPT-5 officially launched.
Right, and it's immediately available, which is interesting. On the ChatGPT app, the website, boom, it's there.
And Sam Altman, OpenAI CEO, he wasn't exactly shy about it. Said it would, quote, redefine the way humans interact with technology.
He didn't stop there either, calling it a doctor-level expert, capable of dominating all scenarios. That's a high bar.
A very high bar. OpenAI itself says it's their smartest, fastest, most useful model yet. So big claims all around.
Definitely. But behind those claims, there's something genuinely new architecturally. They're calling it the routing revolution.
Routing revolution. Okay, what does that mean in practice?
Well, think of it less like one giant AI brain and more like an incredibly smart air traffic controller for different specialized AI models. You've got a main model, GPT-5 main, that's quick, gives fast responses. Then there's a thinking model, GPT-5 thinking, for deeper, more complex reasoning.
Okay.
And the key part is this real-time routing system. It looks at your query, figures out how complex it is, what you're trying to do, maybe even picks up on emotional cues.
Huh, really? Emotional cues?
Yeah, apparently. And based on all that, it intelligently sends the task or parts of the task to the right model or combination of models. It allocates the computing power needed dynamically.
Wow. Okay, give me an example.
Sure. Say you ask it to generate a 3D game with interactive functions. Instead of you needing separate tools, the router just kicks in. It might call up a front-end dev model for the code, pull in a creative writing module for the story, use a visual perception model for the scenes, all seamlessly, without you doing anything extra.
So it's like having a whole team of experts managed by one central intelligence.
Exactly. It's about integrated problem solving. Handles multiple specialist tasks at once.
And that integration applies to different types of information too, right? The whole multimodal thing.
Absolutely. That's another big leap. It connects text, images, audio, video much more fluidly now.
So you could be, I don't know, talking about a movie.
Yeah, and it wouldn't just understand the plot from text. It could analyze stills from the movie, understand the visual style, and then recommend other films with a similar look and feel, perhaps. It makes the conversation much richer.
That really opens things up.
It does. Think about education, a truly adaptive tutor. Or medicine, assisting doctors with tricky diagnoses by pulling together different data types. And in business, analyzing huge data sets, spotting trends, supporting big decisions. That unified multimodal approach is key.
Okay, that sounds incredibly powerful, especially for things like medicine or law. But that immediately brings up the big worry, doesn't it? AI hallucination.
Ah, yes, the Achilles heel. When AI just confidently makes stuff up, it's a huge problem in critical fields.
Exactly. So is GPT-5 actually better at this? What are they doing differently?
They've introduced something called a safe completions mechanism. And this is quite clever. It's not just a simple yes or no answer. It operates on more of a continuum of safety. It assesses the risk level of the query.
How did that work?
Well, for something clearly dangerous, like asking how to ignite dangerous materials, it'll just terminate the request. Public safety first.
Makes sense.
But say it's a complex academic question about a potentially risky experiment. Instead of just refusing, it might provide a plan, but maybe slow down a generation speed and very clearly flag all the protective measures and potential risks involved.
So it's trying to be helpful, but responsibly.
Precisely. And the results seem pretty impressive, at least based on their internal tests. They're reporting a deceptive completion rate down to 0.03%.
Wow, 0.03%. That's tiny.
2 orders of magnitude lower than before. And factual errors are apparently down about 45% compared to GPT-4o. Get this, though. With the reasoning function turned on, the error rate is supposedly 80% lower than their previous O3 model.
80%. Okay, that's a significant drop.
Yeah, and the routing system itself showed a hallucination rate 6 times lower than O3 on factual accuracy tests. It suggests a shift from just fetching information to being a more trustworthy collaborator.
Okay, that's reassuring on the safety front. Now, I also read something really interesting about his personality, or rather personalities, an anti-narrative approach, refusing to flatter. What's that about?
Right. It sounds a bit odd at first. The idea is to make interactions feel less like a sycophantic chatbot always agreeing with you. So they've preset 4 personalities: the cynic, the robot, the listener, and the nerd.
A cynic AI.
Yes,
Serious?
certainly. The goal is to reduce that excessive agreeableness and maybe even retain some human-like cognitive biases or emotional expressions.
Okay, I needed an example of the cynic mode.
Okay, so the example they gave was, if you complain your answer is too mechanical, the cynic might shoot back with something like, because your demand is like Schrodinger's cat.
Okay, that's unexpected. And the listener?
The listener mode would just quietly take down the details, maybe ask for more context without that immediate validation or agreement.
It forces you to think more, perhaps. Less echo chamber.
Exactly. And technically, this is backed by better emotion recognition from your text and tracking the dialogue history more effectively. They claim a 38% improvement in dialogue coherence, scoring 9.2 out of 10.
Impressive score.
But the bigger idea here is quite profound.
Yeah.
If AI starts to genuinely understand concepts like, say, beauty or fear, not just recognize keywords, it could lead to a totally new kind of human-machine collaboration. Maybe AI could offer truly nuanced creative suggestions that challenge us, not just confirm our biases.
A new dimension indeed. Okay, so beyond the core AI, where are we actually seeing GPT-5 pop up?
Well, the big integrations are starting. Apple Intelligence is a major one.
Right, they announced that. But isn't that using GPT-4 right now?
It is, yes. For the current features like ChatGPT integration, the visual stuff, that's still 4.0.
Okay.
But the plan is to switch to GPT-5 with the big OS updates in fall 2025. So iOS 26, iPadOS 26, macOS Tahoe 26, those will be GPT-5 powered.
Gotcha. But if you want it now, you just use the ChatGPT app itself.
Exactly. That's the direct route. And then there's Microsoft Copilot.
Ah, the productivity angle. How's GPT-5 changing Copilot?
It's boosting it significantly, apparently. Enhanced reasoning, much deeper data analysis, and the quality of the output reports say it surpasses GPT-4 for professional work. More precise, more adaptable.
So less generic summaries, more actual insight.
That seems to be the goal. It's designed to analyze complex data, find subtle patterns, things GPT-4 might miss.
Can you give some specific examples? Like, how would I use this day to day?
Sure. For communication, Copilot with GPT-5 could analyze your writing style, tell you its strengths, weaknesses, suggest very specific tone changes, or even generate different template options.
Okay, useful. What about data?
Budgets.
Yeah, imagine feeding it budget data.
Yeah.
It could generate a full executive summary, pull out the key KPIs, create a structured outline for presentation, and make detailed visuals like revenue charts.
And financial reports.
Same idea. Concise, polished summaries of financial statements, highlighting the strategic points, maybe even formatting data into professional-looking tables automatically. It's about generating those complete, ready-to-use professional outputs, including the visuals being better. Because sometimes AI charts can be basic.
That's another focus. Improved visualization tools to make sure charts, tables, presentations look good, are formatted professionally, and actually tell a story with the data.
That could be the genuine time saver for a lot of people.
All right.
Okay, so lots of power, lots of potential applications, but let's switch gears to something less glamorous, the environmental cost.
Yeah, this is a big one. And OpenAI isn't releasing the energy usage figures for GPT-5.
Which usually means they're probably not low.
Experts certainly predict they could be significantly higher. We're talking maybe several times, perhaps even up to 20 times more energy per response compared to older versions.
20 times, wow.
Rakesh Kumar at the University of Illinois pointed out that because GPT-5 is built for that long thinking, that deeper reasoning, it's going to need a lot more power than GPT-4, both for training it initially and for running it day to day, the inference part.
Are there any actual numbers floating around, even estimates?
Some researchers at the University of Rhode Island's AI lab did estimate. They figured GPT-5 might use up to 40 watt-hours for a medium response, say 1,000 tokens.
40 watt-hours?
Yeah.
How much is that?
Well, their average estimate was just over 18 watt hours per response. And to put that in perspective, 18 watt hours is like burning an old school incandescent light bulb for about 18 minutes.
For one response.
For one response. Now scale that up.
Okay, let's try. ChatGPT handles what, maybe 2.5 billion requests a day if they all switch to GPT-5.
The total electricity demand could be enormous, potentially nearing the daily usage of maybe 1.5 million average U.S. homes.
That's staggering, just for AI queries.
It is. Now, there's a slight nuance. The mixture of experts architecture it uses might save some energy because it only activates the specific experts needed.
Right, you mentioned that.
But on the flip side, that powerful reasoning mode and the ability to process video and images, those things, are energy hogs. Using the reasoning mode could easily increase consumption 5 to 10 times just because the computations would take longer.
So smarter AI potentially means much higher energy bills for the planet.
It's a definite trade-off. And it's why you're hearing more calls from experts for AI companies to be way more transparent about these environmental costs. It needs to be part of the conversation.
Absolutely. Okay, so we have the promises, the tech, the integrations, the environmental concerns.
Yeah.
But how is it actually performing now that it's out? What are the initial reactions?
Well, this is where it gets really interesting. Despite all that buildup, the reviews are definitely mixed. We're even seeing some significant disappointment, especially noted from critics in China.
Disappointment. After all that hype.
Yeah. For instance, Zhanglin Feng, an AI professor in Shanghai, stated pretty bluntly that he feels it's not significantly ahead of Chinese models.
Ouch.
And maybe more tellingly, he said it lacks memorable characteristics, suggesting it feels more incremental than revolutionary, at least compared to what they're seeing locally.
And is that just academic critique, or are everyday users feeling it too?
It seems broader than that. There are anecdotal reports popping up, Reddit threads, developer forums, people saying the thinking mode is slow, the answers don't feel that much smarter. Some are even asking how to switch back to GPT-4o.
Asking to go back. That's not a great sign.
Not really. And what's kind of wild is Sam Altman himself sort of acknowledged this. He actually said GPT-5 launched way dumber than he predicted.
He said what? Dumber.
Yeah. He put it down to initial technical glitches, basically, and said he expected it to seem smarter starting today.
Yeah.
But still, admitting it launched dumber is quite something.
Definitely raises eyebrows.
Yeah.
What about actual head-to-head tests? Have people been comparing it?
Yes. PCMag Middle East did some early tests on common tasks, and their conclusion was no obvious improvement over GPT-4o in several areas.
Like what?
Well, trying to search old Sam Altman tweets both struggled, probably because X blocks scraping. Okay, fair enough.
Right.
But in an interior design test, asking it to generate an image of a specific paint color, GPT-5 was apparently even more inaccurate than GPT-4o.
Worse.
And asking for sensitive relationship advice. Both models just gave similar, pretty generic bulleted lists, no deeper insight from the supposed smarter model.
Okay, so maybe not great on subjective stuff. What about basic logic? Did they test that?
They did, and this is where it gets almost comical. They asked it a really simple counting question. How many R's in strawberry?
Okay, it should be easy.
GPT-5 apparently just sat there for minutes, no answer. Then a colleague asked it to count the B's in blueberry. It incorrectly said 3.
It can't count letters. Still.
Seems like it. The tester literally wrote, so yeah, ChatGPT still can't count.
Oh.
And creativity. They asked both models to write a poem called Ode to GPT-5.
Yeah.
Both GPT-5 and GPT-4o produced poems with the exact same opening line. Zero apparent improvement in creative flair there.
Wow. Okay, so the reality on the ground seems quite different from the initial headlines.
It really does. It paints this picture of, maybe an incremental improvement rather than the science fiction level game changer that was sort of implied.
So wrapping this all up, what does this mean for you listening right now? GPT-5 is clearly complex. It's got this new architecture, big ambitions for things like professional work and reducing errors.
Yeah, but it also carries these heavy environmental questions and, frankly, a surprisingly lukewarm, even critical reception in these very early days.
It really makes you think.
It does. And maybe this is the question for you to ponder. Considering everything, the promises, the potential uses, that energy cost, the mixed feedback, what parts of GPT-5 do you think will actually stick and have a lasting impact?
And maybe just as importantly, what are the biggest challenges OpenAI needs to tackle right now to make this technology live up to its potential? or even just the hype?
Good question.
We genuinely want to know what you think about GPT-5. Let us know down in the comments section. And hey, while you're there, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to the AI Tips and Tools YouTube channel. Hit that notification bell too so you don't miss our weekly updates on everything happening in this incredibly fast-moving world of AI.
It changes every week.
It really does. All right, until next time, keep exploring.